Hello everyone. Our project for the security course is Vulnerability and Security Control in SQL NoSQL Database. The ongoing security issues in MongoDB are authentication weakness, authorization weakness, vulnerable to SQL injection, multiple interfaces weakness, and no encryption. By default, authentication and authorization is disabled in MongoDB. These are the control and prevention steps for MongoDB security. You can enable the user authentication mechanism, apply some encryption on the traffic or transport layer, enabling the basic SSL between hosts, configure the firewall program. These are the steps we have implemented in the security measures in MongoDB. Configure the MongoDB in our system, perform some read and write operations on the MongoDB, use the built-in MongoDB functions to add the security, and implement a part of the programs to add the additional security. The study we have done on the MongoDB is we have extracted all the common operations and studied other as well. So these are the common operations on the MongoDB. These are the syntax and the same equivalent one in the relational database. We have also referred to some white papers for MongoDB. Now let me just show you the installation steps of MongoDB. So this is the URL from where you need to download the MongoDB. Once you install it, it will get downloaded in the C drive and creates a directory MongoDB. You need to create this data folder manually. So in the data folder, all the data files would be getting stored and all the installation would be in the bean folder. Let me just highlight two of them. One is MongoD and another one is Mongo. So MongoD acts as a server and Mongo would be acting as a client. Let me directly go to the demonstration of it. I'm just trying to start the MongoDB server. So now the MongoDB is ready to listen the request on the port 27017. Let me start the Mongo client as well. Now the client has started. Just running few commands. This will show all the databases on the MongoDB server. Collection is the terminology equivalent to the tables in relational database. So these are the three tables in admin database. Let me just show you the creation of a new table. So now a new collection has been added, and let me insert a new record in that table. So now I have inserted one record and just view using the find function. It is same as select statement in relational database. So you can see a record has been inserted, and it would be in the JSON format, that is a key value pair. Let me just drop this newly created table. In this program, we have done the encryption part. So as we all know, encryption is the process of encoding the message or the information and keeping it confidential to only the authorized user of it. So the only changes we have made while inserting the password is we have just converted the string into the MD5 format. So MD5 is a function which take the input as a string and give a 32-bit hash value as the output. Let me directly run this program and show you. So you can see in the first two IDs, the password has been unencrypted, and the newly inserted, which is 3 and 4, the password has been in an encrypted format. So even if the attacker gets this information, they cannot affect the confidentiality of the user. But even after this, the problem here is anybody can get the access to the database without any authentication. So in the next step, we would cover the authentication part. So before moving on to that, we need to first run few operations on the MongoDB server. So this particular line is just changing the auth schema version to 3 from 5. The reason why we are changing is this Mongo CR credential only support the version 3 of it. So we'll just run it. And once that is inserted, we will create a new user on the MongoDB server. So in this particular user, we are just providing the roles of cluster admin, read any database, and user admin on the database admin. So now you can see that the new user has been successfully added. You can also query the same using db.getUsers. Now I'll just explain you the program. In this particular line, we are just using the Mongo CR credential for authentication purpose. We are passing the username, database name, and the password. We have other ways of authentication also, like using Kerberos scheme or X509, and the last one is the plain credentials. And once the user has been authenticated on the server, he needs to connect it using the IP address and the port number, and can perform the similar operations like we have covered it in the previous programs. So first, let me just trying to show you without valid credentials and connect the database in a authentication mode. We just need to add auth before the DB path, and now the database is in authorization enabled mode. So now you can see on the DB client that not authorized on the admin to execute command. So the database is in secure mode now, and let me try running the same program with the invalid credentials and show you the output. So it is giving an error now, the authentication field, and let me just correct the password here and try running one more time. and you can see the difference. The data has been inserted successfully on the DB server, and I'll just I have to even authenticate here because I won't be able to view or run any other commands. And you can see the two newly inserted rows here. So now we have just covered the authentication based on the roles which are already defined in the MongoDB server. But let's suppose we just want to give particular rights and create a new role on the database, then how we should do it. So in the next program, we are going to cover that part. In this last program, we are just trying to create a new role from the scratch and assign that role to a particular user. So if you see this line, the user is Wiki, the database name is Krunal, and the password is security, and trying to get the collections on the employee salary, and also perform some insert and find operations. So let me show you creation of the role. So using this syntax, we are creating the role in the database Krunal. So this role is find on employee salary. So you are just assigning find operations on the collection employee salary in the database Krunal. Now in the next step, we are just going to create a user Wiki and assigning the same role to him. So now we have already done the role creation and the user creation. Since he is having just a find operation on the database Krunal and the collection employee salary, I would need to already have employee salary table created because it won't the user wiki won't be having that right. So you can already see the employee salary table has been created, and I will just show you the fields. And you can see there are already 3-4 fields present in that table. Okay, now let me just restart the MongoDB server in a authorized mode. So now you can see the message not authorized on admin. So I'll just use db Krunal and authorized myself and say wiki, and with some invalid credentials, and you can see the authentication has been failed. So let me just authorized with the valid credential. Okay, let me perform the operations like find, since we have already created a role and assigning the right find privileges to the user, so you can find the records. But now let me try inserting a new record and see what is the outcome. and you can see an error message, not authorized on the kernel to execute command employee salary, whatever. So we have done created a role and assigned it to a user and already checked that the user was not authorized. The next step we could have done is the row level access, but due to the less time we were not able to cover that. Our future plan is to work on, get more information on the MongoDB, and wanted to cover this SSL mode PM key file, which is for certification, and also would like to know more about MongoDB, map reduce, and other technologies so that we can uh, make it more secure. That's it from the demonstration side. Thank you.